Welcome to the Art of Surrender, Feminine Embodiment Journey. I am Elaine Marie Rose, and I'm so excited that you've arrived for this sacred discovery into your own divine feminine essence, dear sister. I want you to know that this work is drawn from my own intimate spiritual journey and my personal relationship experiences, working with the feminine and masculine polarities, both inside myself and external to me in a partner. I have walked and I continue to walk this sacred path, and I am delighted that you have entered into this container of light to find your own true and authentic, loving feminine being. Thank you for your courage and your trust to step forward with me. As women doing the sacred work to ascend into our divine feminine, we must always hold the true awareness of the other half of the divine frequency, the divine masculine. In the realm of holy oneness, these are not two forces, but one united force. Two archetypal qualities that need one another to create in sacred wholeness, as the divine blueprint of creation intended. Your soul has both forces within it. As such, while you're healing your wounded feminine nature, you can't throw away the other half of creation, the sacred masculine. The masculine and feminine energies are a part of all living things. In your work here, we're going to use your resistance to the masculine frequency, both internally and externally, as a mirror to help you see and know yourself better. We're going to use contrast as a backdrop for our own inner work and healing to become whole once again. The feminine polarity is a magnetic force of energy. It's emotional, watery in nature, flowing, and intuitive. When it's alive in our own soul psyche framework as our lower egoic personality, it can become corrupted by the illusions of separation we perceive as real. These illusions are the experiences we have had with the fragmented masculine force, and how this has resulted in the perception of pain, longing, loss of identity, and disempowerment, and a lack of fulfillment. Our feminine embodiment work is not going to be working at the level of the mind. The feminine polarity is emotional, and the emotions live in the body. In feminine embodiment work, we highlight the authority of the body wisdom to understand and to know ourselves at a more intimate level. This entire journey is a journey towards you, beloved one, but we will use the masculine contrast frequency to show you yourself, like using a mirror as a reflection. While we may long for our beloved to come and fulfill us, hoping in this union we will become whole, our deeper work here is to find a solution to that longing for love that we hold in our hearts. We come to discover that underneath this longing is an ancient disconnection from our own being as self-love. We're going to be learning to become master alchemists. An alchemist takes something that's in a denser, more coarse format, and it transmutes it using an alchemical process into something of a higher and more refined nature. The ancient alchemists always held the motto that they were turning lead into gold. This is a metaphor for the transmutation of our own lower being that's based in fear into a higher form of ourselves based in divine love and light. In our feminine embodiment work, we'll be using any resistance or pain or perceptions of being a victim in relation to the masculine frequency to transcend into our higher nature as pure divine love. We're going to begin to explore this concept of feminine embodiment as body awareness. Our work dives into our own body awareness to unearth and reveal places the body holds old wounds and trauma that keep us from living our largest and brightest self into the world. It locates hidden cellular contractions of energy that dim our soul and spirit and limit our experience of who we are. Our body intelligence holds all the memory and the records of who we are and all we have experienced in this lifetime and beyond. This profound innate intelligence does a great service to us by withholding painful portions of our being that we're not quite ready to see or accept or integrate as part of us. These inner shadows that are hidden keep us trapped in masking behaviors as we put on a mask that causes us to express ourselves through a lens of distortion. It's not us. They cause us to see events and people via elusive projections of our own inner wounding, rather than as people truly are. These shadows cause us to react to experiences and others in ways that are not in alignment with our highest essence and being. And that's okay. This is part of our human journey. We're not here to tell ourselves that those shadows and those things that are hidden are bad things. They're important parts of us. Ultimately, these shadows do keep us separated from ourselves, though, and they keep us separated from others. They deny us the life-giving connection we so long for deep within our soul. And so that's why we need to bring them to the light. We have a memory of union with ourselves, with others, and with all life within us. And this is the impulse that drives us to seek this external fulfillment through the creation of what we're going to call romantic love. As we progress, you're going to discover that romantic love is not always what it appears to be. This sentimental bonding attachment is fleeting, it's changing, and it's based more in fear than actual love. Our journey is to uncover these self-deceptions and to unmask ourselves, to become what sits quietly and patiently underneath our mask, the true, authentic, loving self. This is where true unconditional love is born as compassionate freedom. And this is the ultimate foundation needed to create a real, true, authentic, sacred union, both with yourself and then with another. The divine feminine frequency indicates a feminine energy that has dissolved her personality constructs to uncover her innate, wilded feminine as her divine infinite essence. This divine feminine frequency begins to become the beloved essence and lives from a state of instinctual and intuitive embodied freedom. This divine frequency is no longer chained to any lower constructs of what the feminine is or should be based on what the world is telling her. She becomes an authentic and unique divine frequency, all to her own, unto her own, that is holding and transmitting feminine magnetic force in its wild, untamed form. She has embodied her divinity and become the goddess frequency of life. She has become the beloved one. In our work here, we are awakening the goddess body of the wilded, authentic, divine feminine, the indwelling feminine spirit inside of you that is waiting to be awakened and expressed as radical, compassionate love. In this journey, the art of surrender, we're working with the concept of full, intimate body surrender to the masculine energy. We're exploring our resistance to this surrender as the contrast that allows us to learn more about our own depths of fragmented unconscious wounding. The goal here is not to train a woman to surrender her most sacred sexual being to any masculine energy, especially one that's not worthy to understand and fully honor this gift. That's not what we're aiming for. On the contrary, we're exploring how you now or in the past may have surrendered and yielded your divine essence to unhealthy, disrespectful, unsafe engagements with the wounded masculine. There's no self-judgment intended here. I encourage you to be in a curious state of self-learning and discovery, because we can learn a lot by looking at these past and present experiences. You're discovering the root reasons for these acts of self-sabotage. You will be exploring how even when you believed you were in love and in connection, you were still wearing a mask and you were holding parts, major parts of your authentic feminine essence back, dimming down your innate feminine power. We're going to be using this contrasting lens of the wounded masculine as the mirror, here to shine light into your own being. We're not trying to create another false construct to seduce or manipulate others or ourselves. This work is about creating our own inner safety, our own inner protection, and our own inner integrity. You are discovering your own notion of worthiness and self-esteem as a feminine energy. What is feminine embodied grace? When we no longer resist anything internally or externally, we enter a state of divine grace and freedom. Total non-resistance. We can be in the world and of the world as a pure vessel, divine feminine embodied wisdom. This is our ultimate purpose in a feminine form, as an expression. To be our highest selves as a true divine embodiment of sacredness and ecstatic creational life force. A woman will not open up to a man she cannot trust fully. This trust is at such deep intuitive levels. Most women aren't even aware that they're holding a part of themselves back. The truth is that even if you love him, at some level, a part of you will not be able to open more deeply into ecstatic release if you feel he can't meet you fully and take you on the journey that you trust enough to fully let go. Feel that inside your body. Feel either the masculine partner you're with now or someone from the past. Did you trust him enough to totally let go? Getting yourself to fully trust a man and open your most intimate sexual self requires some advanced awareness and practice, and that's our work here. Emotional states and our sense of connectedness are intricately woven as a part of how we do or do not open and connect to a man. If your masculine is not self-aware, he can't be aware with you. And if you're not self-aware, you can't expect your man to meet you there either. What is your own self-intimacy level? We'll be exploring this because this is exactly the masculine you're going to be attracting to you as a polarity mirror. What does a woman need to open to her man fully? I call this the Trinity of surrender. There's 3 parts to any Trinity. The first, a sense of safety and protection. Second, a fully honoring and accepting presence. And third, to feel a sense of deep, passionate, emotional connection. We're going to be exploring each segment of this Trinity in depth in our journey into the art of feminine surrender. Are you ready to jump in, beloved one? Because here we go. Here's some recommendations for how to approach this work as you enter into this sacred space. First, make a commitment to yourself to stay present and to create space for this alchemical work in your life. Clear out your schedule of all unnecessary obligations and distractions. Stay focused and tuned into the energy. Stay with the process. Commit to the self-inquiry work with diligence and personal accountability. I recommend at least one day or a minimum of a half day of inner work each week, so you stay in alignment with your intentions to grow and to heal. If you can purchase a special journal just for this work, that's terrific. Set up an intentional altar as a small sacred space to energetically hold your process and to remind you to tune into it and honor it. Find whatever sacred objects, photos, or images you want to place there that represent your intentions for this transformative work. And write down your core intention right now in the beginning for this course and place it on your altar. Give yourself the gift of your own time and full presence. Often we're searching for the presence of the masculine in a state of longing to bring in that perfect beloved, thinking it will solve all of our problems and our desires and will be fulfilled. But what we find is that we won't give that same level of presence and commitment to ourselves. Why is that? And how can you expect anyone else to give it to you if you won't give it to you? You have stories about how busy you are. Look honestly at these stories as barriers and self-sabotaging behaviors that keep you away from yourself and your own growth and evolution. Put yourself first here, because if you won't, who will? I recommend you listen to each of these recordings several times, as it can take time for the concepts to penetrate from your consciousness into your unconscious knowing. These transmissions are alchemical activations of the latent parts of your soul psyche and will initiate and unlock new levels of self-awareness and expansion. Use these tools wisely as the energy tools they are. Breakthroughs happen in the new space of conscious awareness you're creating for yourself. Pay attention as subtle new information begins to reveal itself throughout the time that you're immersed in this coursework. Begin to listen more deeply here in your body to go under the surface of things. And we're going to have some practices to help us learn how to do that. See the signs and synchronicities that show up all around you to guide you more deeply into this transformative new awareness that's being born. You're going to get what you put into this program. So give it your best, because you're giving that gift to yourself. If not now, then when? And if not you, then who? Dive in, beloved sister. I'm holding you in my heart.